Takže příjemné odpoledne. Vítám vás na odpolední sekci na správu infrastruktury. V této sekci zahájíme přednáškou vzácného hosta z Esri, Jeffa Rashida. It's you.
Wow, that was quick. Thank you. Thanks for coming to the session so late in the afternoon. Again, my name is Jeff Rashid. I'm the Director of Utilities at Esri, and it's great to be here. As I was thinking about coming to Prague, I was thinking about a question that a lot of customers ask me all the time. They're like, Jeff, we'll be talking to them about, like, I get it, you work with us, right? But how many customers do you really have? And so what I did is we took some of our data and we made a map out of it. And this is just a little show of how your peers and how the electric and gas industry for Esri has grown since 2008. It's basically exponential growth in how our utilities globally have been using GIS to help run their business. And we're very proud, we're incredibly proud of this community. It's about 9,000 right now, electric and gas utilities around the world that are using our technology in meaningful ways. And I mean really meaningful ways. The work that you do, the work that all utilities do is, in my opinion, some of the most interesting work that's out there. I didn't do your job. I didn't work for a utility, but I've been working with utilities from a GIS standpoint for about 3 decades, about 30 years. And what's always amazed me about your business is how much of that business is tightly bound by geography. And that where work is, where your crews are, where your outages are, where your system failures are, where your contractors are, where construction is, where your assets are, where materials are. Like, when I started working with utilities, I'm like, this is fantastic. It's one big geographic problem. And there's a really interesting opportunity for us as a company to help utilities run their business better. And so this notion of a geographic approach is just, to me, funnels through everything that utilities do, and pretty much all of the work that you do, from data collection to analytics and on down the like. It's not uncommon for us to be talking to a customer and they'll say, Jeff, our GIS is integrated to about 40 other business systems. And I'd be like, well, that's impressive. It's not uncommon for customers to say these days, Jeff, we view this GIS as very close to mission critical. We used to view it as important technology to manage our assets, but now this system is connected to the heart and the lungs of our business. They say it's connected to their heart and the lungs of their business. It's connected to their main IT systems like SAP, ERP systems, and it's connected to their main operational technology systems like ADMS or outage management and SCADA. And they're like, we can't have this stuff go down anymore. And as we sort of listen to what our customers need from us, we take that in and we try to apply it to our technology as we go forward. And my hope is over the next 20 minutes or so, according to the clock, is share with you what our strategies are for utilities, what our product direction is for utilities, how we're taking your input and trying to move the technology forward. But before I get into that, I thought I'd share with you this video. Some of your peers have been presenting at our industry conference known as IMGIS. Have you heard of IMGIS? Just you and you and you? Good. We're going to learn more about it a little bit. Some of your peers have been presenting at IMGIS. Some of them have actually presented on the main stage at our user conference. Has anybody been to our user conference? That's it? Goodness, that was 18,000 of your best friends was at that event last year in San Diego. Anyway, some of your peers around the world have been speaking on behalf of what utilities are doing. I thought I'd share some of that work with you.
My name is Amy Barron, and I love GIS.
SoCalGas is the largest gas utility in the country.
6 million accounts, major production facilities, includes refineries, electric generation plants.
December 2017, one of the largest wildfires in modern California history breaks out. Then, torrential rains hit and mudslides slammed into the town of Montecito.
Just to describe the magnitude and the damage of it, it impacted over 500 structures.
They set up an on-site incident command post where the GIS team would work closely with first responders, then started working to restore service and ensure safety with the help of Esri's ARCGIS platform.
Today, I'm going to share with you the Energy Queensland digital transformation journey. We maintain a network of over 153,000 substations with over 207,000 kilometres of connecting lines. That's the equivalent of a power line running around the world 5 times, of over 24.3 million features. Making Energy Queensland one of the world's largest connected network electricity providers.
Hello, I'm part of a small GIS team at San Francisco Airport, or SFO, comprised of 3 GIS analysts. And it's our responsibility to map the infrastructure at the airport. We have about 400 miles of subsurface utilities. We map things like potable water, telecom, natural gas, electrical, industrial waste, sanitary sewer, surface assets, storm drain, and aviation fuel line. 18 million square feet, 97 different buildings, floor plans, spaces, levels, POIs, doors, multiple BIM models at once, 9 BIM models, 9 different contracts, hundreds of different architects, 9 different models, all geo-referenced, 8.5 million square feet of BIM.
Gas operations has many of the same goals as electric in that it's critical to maintain an accurate and up-to-date network. Gas distribution assets are required to be stored within 6 inches of accuracy. To do this, we've turned to the latest capabilities of field maps.
16 million images. To date, we have also implemented inspection and visualization solutions, and we are now working on mapping, threat detection, and analytic capabilities.
The ability to view image metadata on an Esri platform running from the cloud, along with LiDAR and its images, has been amazing.
Access to an authoritative GIS catalog of data, not published by IT, but published by business subject matter experts, made available to everyone in the company so they can put together their own task-specific web apps and maps. I think that's the definition of scalable.
Pretty cool, huh? I mean, that's your peers. It's Energy Queensland. It's Duke Energy in the States, Energy Queensland out of Australia, right? There's the work of PG&E that's been going on. Also, San Francisco Airport is in there with their utility management, but also their facility management. It's pretty impressive stuff. And as I said before, the work the work that you all do in utilities and beyond is, to me, some of the most interesting stuff out there. And it is absolutely intriguing. And we're very proud of the community that is growing here in Europe. We started this conference last year known as IMGIS, Infrastructure Management GIS Conference. It was held in Frankfurt earlier this year, right? It was the first time we ran the infrastructure conference in Europe. And we had, 730 people show up. We thought we'd be lucky if we got 350, honestly. And we went past 350, and then we're at 400, and we hit 500, and we're at 600, and I'm like, do we have enough room? And they said, we got to cap it at about 750 for safety reasons. And so it ended up blocking off just below that. But to me, what that said was, there's a hunger for knowledge. There's a hunger in the infrastructure industries to learn from each other and to share on best practices. And that event is on its way to be one of the largest GIS events in the world, especially focused on infrastructure Next year, the date's April 10th, 8th through 10th. I think we're expecting to be about 1,100 people that'll be at that event in Frankfurt, Germany. And we hope to see many of you there. We hope maybe we'll see some of you on stage, right? And then you'll be the next stars, right? Look, there's an awful lot going on. We talked about it earlier today. Generally speaking, there's a lot going on in the world, but there's a heck of a lot more going on in the energy space. This net zero and decarbonization and approach to hydrogen and increase in cybersecurity, different financial money coming away in the US. It's an Inflation Reduction Act. I think there's other funds that are coming available here in Europe, battery storage, climate change. There's a lot of things that are going on. And we've been seeing it coming for quite some time. And back in 2018, I started doing some research on, goodness gracious, everybody's talking about energy transition. Everybody's talking about decarbonization. How much money is being invested in this? So in 2018, I could find about 300 million globally that was roughly being invested. And last year, I thought, wow, what, has it changed? And it did. And based upon the cursory research I did, it looks like about $1 trillion has now been invested in the transformation of utility companies globally. And here in Europe, money is being allocated right in the check. Are you aware of that? That, what's that say, Anastasia? The Repower? Yeah, Repower EU, right, is an initiative that's actually dropping funds right here in your country. So as I said before, there's a lot that has been happening, and we're super proud of our customers. And we're very, very, very honored and excited about the great community you are here in Europe. But I'm not sure if you're aware, this community here that you see, they call themselves the UNC, they're the Utility Network Consortium. They get together like monthly on phone, right? And they also get together once or twice a year in person. Earlier this year was in Lithuania. And they get together for the purposes of sharing their ideas and also for giving us feedback on where they need to go as an organization. I encourage you, if you've not been involved in this group, contact Anastasia right here in front. Anastasia can help you get on their mailing list so that you can become part of the conversation with that whole group throughout Europe. In my opinion, and it's a little bit biased, that group here, that UNC group, is some of the best thought leadership that we've seen in the globe. It's actually rivaling our large utility consortium in the United States right now. Very strong community. That community and all the industry challenges, as I said before, have been coming at us for quite some time. And this slide here we created back in 2013 or 2014. It was an illustration of how energy transition was going to start to come in and how new renewable energy would come in on the high side, on the transmission side, and also on the low side, and that these new microgrids would create. There'd be all kinds of new distributed energy resources, or DERs, coming in. There'd be different load profiles with new electric cars coming in. There'd be different energy sources going through pipelines like hydrogen. And you're talking about an industry that's been doing the same thing for 100+ years. That's an awful lot of change coming in a relatively short period of time. And the customers have been asking us, Esri, how are you going to respond? What's your plan to help us evolve to this next generation of utility? And so let's talk about that, right? We talked earlier today about how ARCGIS is really a comprehensive system. The whole thing is designed to work together broadly across your organization in an enterprise way. And there's an awful lot of conversation out there about utility network. And I just want to say, let's just settle down that conversation and let's focus the conversation around ARCGIS as a system, and Esri built a new utility engine to put into that car. Okay, it's known as a utility network. And that engine we built in response to what our customers have been asking us to do. And so it started out to be a research project 15 some years ago based upon the feedback we were getting from our partners and our customers, and has ultimately turned into a product that we released about 6 years ago, okay? And over that time, it's really turned out to be quite a nice a strategic path for us. So let's talk a little bit about what our plan was strategically to build these new capabilities. When we looked at what utilities were needing, we sort of put it into three big bucket areas. More advanced modeling of their network, so they can do stuff at a lot more detail. Better visualization and analytics engines inside of the thing. And pervasive access, meaning instead of just the GIS expert having access to utility intelligence, we should put it right on the phone of that field crew. So when they go climb a tree, or they go climb a pole, I should say, they can actually get utility network interaction right where they're at. So that was the plan, and that is the plan. So we worked on modeling the complete network. And what did we mean by modeling a complete network? You can model generation, you can model transmission, you can model distribution, but what our customers were saying is, can you model the whole thing as one comprehensive network? So we built that out. The second thing we worked on is, it's interesting if you can model electricity, but we need to know if we lose power, where are we going to lose water or communications? A lot of municipalities want this. So we built bimodal into it. Go be able to trace in between networks. Right? And to be able to model all of the details inside of objects, inside of substations and et cetera. From a visualization standpoint, we can obviously see the networks geographically, but our customers wanted a better schematics engine, a much more integrated schematics engine, so we worked on that. We wanted the ability to manage the component views. We wanted to be able to see schematics and geographic together. We wanted to be able to see historical. We wanted to be able to roll that network back to 3 years ago to see what it looked like. And we wanted to be able to put it in 3D so it can help power our digital twin strategies. So we worked on all that. And the third area was cross-platform. And we're still putting a lot of engineering work into this, which is basically to make the network topology not just available within what was ArcMapper Pro now, but to make that logic available in web applications and also in mobile applications. So you'll actually see coming out shortly after the first of the year, Esri's first web editing environment for utility type context, right? And more capabilities will continue to come out. So that was the plan, and that's what we started working on in this sort of large strategic, based upon the input we were getting from our customers that this is where the industry was going. Remember, this is a long time ago. This is about 12, 13 years ago, and customers are saying, you need to help us have better technology so we can run our business in the future. We had no idea what they're talking about, but we believed it. But in the end of the day, what we were building here was a way to hopefully unify your business with coordinated operations. So for the first time, the engineers, the operations, customer service, planning can all have the same data at the same time. So people can stop arguing about who has the right data, and people can start focusing on solving problems and enhancing that data. It's an interesting theory, right? But all too often, utilities have siloed data all over the place, and the conversation is, my data is better than your data, so you can leave. You can go do something else. But from a business standpoint, with everything going on, what our customers say, give us a platform that's enterprise ready, that supports our whole business, so we can all participate in making that one system of the truth, one network of the truth, from a coordinated operations standpoint. So we did that, and I just want to point out one technical, interesting caveat here. So what's one of the big differences about this new system that is different than from what we've been seeing? All current network management systems that are out there today are built on a client-server approach with the rules and editing rules maintained in each of the web applications or desktop applications or mobile applications. So those rules are singular deployed. And what we did here in this new approach is we adopted the new WebGIS framework of ARCGIS, and we put all the business logic in the system, so the business rules and the security are managed by the system. So if Jesper here, sitting in front of me, who's going to speak next, is out in the field with a mobile phone doing updates, I can trust his editing on the data because the system will automatically fire the rules that are associated that I've put into my system, right? And so for once, we can have a unified approach to running the business. That's kind of a big deal. And it was about the whole engineering around our utility network capabilities, extending ArcGIS, is about a $500 to $600 million R&D project so far, right? But here at Esri, we always say we reinvest in, we take customers' revenue that we get and we reinvest about 32% back into our R&D. And some customers will say, well, Jeff, what do you do with that actual money? Well, we actually make a bunch of software. And in this case, we heard what our utility customers were asking us to do, and we built a new engine for all of our utility customers. And that engine is designed to be an enterprise system that will operate at scale. Now, I bring up this diagram only for the purposes of showing the appreciation for when you are building a world-class GIS system, a network management system. As I said before, our customers are saying this stuff has to be mission critical. It has to run at scale. Well, it requires a well thought out architecture with failover, test, dev, and production environments, failover, and the scalability to support all of your users at scale. There's a whole bunch of new documentation coming out from Esri I want to draw your attention to. There's a new well-architected site that's being driven by you and your peers that'll be released about the end of this year that'll contain a whole array of best practices for architecting high-level network management systems for utilities and other companies. Pay attention to that well-architected site. Please contact your distributor and our partners if you need access or can't seem to find it. I expect it to be available around about the end of the year.
What's the name of the site?
It'll be like Esri's well-architected framework site. And if you want to know, look, I'll tell you this right now. If you want to start having conversations with smart people sooner rather than later, contact your distributor. My architecture team, this is Peter Seidel here. He runs our distributorship. You contact Peter's team, and he will help get you connected to my architecture team. And Dave Raisin and that architecture team will meet with you personally to brief you on what we're doing, because it's his work that's driving that whole well-architected site. The second thing that team is producing as an output of their work is a whole new training program for system integrators on how to design, build, and operate a world-class network management system. That'll be available after probably about the middle of next year. But again, we're listening to you guys. We're not only just making technology, which is our obligation, but we're trying to build out a portfolio of things to help you be successful at the highest level, because this is what we've been hearing. This GIS stuff's really important. And it sits right in the middle of our ERP, or SAP, and our operational technologies. And you, Esri, you need to take it serious, so we are. And we're investing in it in multiple levels. Another thing some customers will say to me is, Jeff, really interested in your new technology, but I don't want to be the first one to go into production. All right, so you already missed that opportunity. There's 81 customers in production with the latest technology right now. Some of those customers are here, like a little one, Seattle City, a light up in the Northwest. First Energy's huge. They're like 6 million meters. They went into production earlier this year. They got a beautiful system. CenterPoint Energy, they do Houston. They're also in production. National Grid was our first customer to go into production. They went into production in 2019. That was a small world migration. Again, there's 80 some. You might say that looks good in the US, Jeff, but I don't see any in Europe. Well, here's some. So there's, what do we got? We got Elnet, ESO, Veolia, Pepta, Brabant Water, some over here that Why is that important? Because everybody wants to talk to somebody that's done it before. And again, if you talk with Peter's organization, we can help you get connected to that community, that whole community that's working to give us feedback, that utility network consortium. So, just sort of wrapping it up here, you know, this whole work that you do is really important to us. We take it doggone serious, and we're proud to be able to build the technology to help you power the next generation utilities. And we're very thankful for you to be our customer. But I want to make sure one of your main takeaways is it's not just about the utility network. Esri has built a comprehensive system and a new engine specifically for utilities. And my upgrade is a new world-class services-based architecture system with a new network management system. Because if we do this right, we're going to build the right frameworks, the right foundations that are going to help you power the next generation of your digital twins. That's what this is about. Building a better organization for yourself. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep building out a bunch of technology. This looks like, you know, all of the investment areas from us from an R&D standpoint, and it's a lot. But what's interesting when I look at this, you know, things like time-based inclusion of knowledge graphs, geo-AI, imagery management, like you saw PG&E do, right? 3D, digital twins, game engines. You add all that up, you add network management and data management to it in 3D, and what you're looking at is your work is definitely building the next generation of the digital twin for utilities, and there's really no doubt about it. And like I said before, real excited to be here. I want to thank you for having me. Thank you, Peter, and your team for having us here. And I'm going to turn it over to my friend Jesper, or are you going to introduce? All right, Vlad is going to introduce, but I'm going to get out of the way. Again, thank you for being our customer. It's an honor to be here. You take care.
Thank you.